Are you having difficulty with your growth and your success? And no matter what you do, it doesn't seem as though you are able to break the cycle that you found yourself in? Well, today we're going to have a quick look at how your environment could be interfering with your growth potential. Welcome back to Ira Living. I'm Kenya, and today we're going to be exploring how your environment could be limiting your progression and could be limiting your growth and your success. Now, have you heard this saying before? Show me your company and I will tell you who you are. Or the one that tells you about the connections you have to different people in the world based on your network. Well, your environment are the people who surround you and the experiences that you're having. Now, if you have a crop that you are growing and you have put it in a soil in a certain area, and somebody else have the same crop that they're growing and they put it in a soil elsewhere, you can see distinct difference between the productivity of both crops, and it's down to the environment that they're in. So not just the soil and the soil condition, but also the rainfall and the care that is being taken of it. So therefore, your environment has a direct effect and an impact on how you can progress and the success that you are able to achieve. And we're going to look at 3 things about the environment that you are in that could be causing you the difficulties to break out and become as successful as you really want to be. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at is the limited exposure of the people that is in your environment and that is in your sphere. The first thing about your environment that could be limiting your growth and your success is the limited exposure. So the limited exposure could be your exposure to different experiences, different information, different knowledge, and also the exposure of the people that is within your group. And because they are limited in their exposure, they are unable to expose you to things that you haven't been exposed to before. And that limited exposure restricts the amount of knowledge that you can acquire and that you can learn. And therefore, you cannot be mentored and coached or be inspired by the people that are in your environment to then be able to help you to progress in the way that you should. So therefore, you need to start to look at growing your environment or changing it in its entirety to then be able to see how you can progress better. Because as they say, you cannot change the people in your environment, but you can change your environment. So what you then do is you find new people who are then more exposed, who can bring you more insight, more information, in addition to those that you're trying to acquire for yourself. The other aspect about your environment that might be causing you limitation is their fear of risk-taking or their fear of change. Now, some people are just downright fearful of changing and fearful of taking risk. And being afraid of taking risk is not that big a problem if you know your level of risk taking, and then is able to know where you will take risk for your own personal growth. However, some of the people that we are around in our environment don't want to see the new us that we're going to be becoming, because it also requires them to make changes of themselves. And so although they are looking out for what they consider to be our best interest, the fact that they are reluctant to change and they're fearful of taking that risk, which could lead to your betterment, your enhancement, your improvement, and you excelling, they are in and of themselves restricting and causing limitation in you doing your full growth. And therefore, you've got to exercise an awareness of self to know, are you limiting yourself from change, and are you allowing the fear of taking necessary risk to limit you from progress? Because of course it's okay to have a certain level of risk aversion. At the same time, we know that there are certain risks that are necessary and healthy risks to take, and that will push us into the next level that we want to get to, whether that is financially, professionally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, or in whatever capacity that we're looking to grow. And if you're trying to become a better version of you and be more successful and grow your wealth portfolio, then it's going to require you to take some level of measured risk. The third point to consider is the success capital of the people that are within your group. How successful are they? And if you put them all together, how successful is whatever it is that they're working on? How much progress have they made with it? And what exactly are they doing that is causing transformation in their lives that are allowing them to be able to elevate to their next level? Now, because of the environment that you found yourself in, you might have recognize that you have had certain challenges, and breaking free from it is not necessarily going to be one of the easiest things to do. However, you have got to stop and ask yourself the question, are you the smartest person in your sphere? Are you the most accomplished person in your sphere? Well, if those answers are yes, then it clearly means that you need to be in a different environment and in a very different space. Because who is going to be there to be able to give you the advice, the encouragement, the motivation, and the support that you need, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that you need to take you to the next level? It doesn't mean that you have to discard those people in their entirety. It just means that you need to build out your environment a little bit more. And it might mean that you might have to cut off some of those people from your environment in order to do that growth that you need. And therefore, you need to bring in new people in your sphere who you can impact, and they can also impact you. So who can give you exposure to information that you need, to rooms that you need to enter into, to insight that you need in order to grow and to develop. Because you need to be in a position where you are being mentored and being coached by people who have been successful and are at the level where you want to be. So it is important that you are surrounding yourself with people who are at the level or 2 levels above where you want to be at all times, so that you're in an environment where it's conducive to your success. And at all times, you are then going to be able to matriculate to the next level in your growth and your development and your wealth building. Remember, financial literacy is revolutionary. It has transformed my life, and I know it can do the same to yours.